Your model has to be time-based and repeatable. If it's not, your data means nothing and you have no edge on the market. If you're entering off of random minor sell and buy side liquidity or random 1 minute fair value gaps in New York session, your entries are massively flawed and the data, if you even make any in the first place, means nothing. You can easily change this if you just use this one concept called time-based liquidity. If you just change those random minor sweeps of sell and buy side liquidity for time-based liquidity, for example, Asia, London high and low, previous day high and low, data high and low, then I promise you your trading will completely change. If you want to actually trade consistently and trust your model, it has to be repeatable and time-based. These are the most two important things in building any model you can possibly have. If your model isn't time-based, firstly, you're entering off of random sell or buy side liquidity. It means nothing. Random 1 minute fair value gaps. It's just different entries. It's an entry model, but it's not a model.
Order filled.
If your model is not repeatable, you're not building data that's reliable. You're just, like I said, making a list of different entries. There's a difference between an entry and a model. And I guarantee the entries you take right now, I would probably take two after time-based liquidity has been swept. That's the difference between an entry and a model. But you can easily fix this in your trading. All you have to do is pick a time-based liquidity. With my model, I wait for a sweep of London high or low, and then I look for an entry model. That's the difference. The whole point of the model being repeatable, so you can actually build reliable data. And once you pick your time-based liquidity that makes the most sense to you, that's the most important thing. All of them work. Most strategies work, and I guarantee all time-based strategies work. It's just a matter of trusting the process over a long time. You're practicing the same thing every day, and you progress. You get better at trading. Right now, just trading random entries on the 1 minute chart is fine, but it's not consistent at all. And all this data I've built on a repeatable model every single day in 2025 actually allows me to trust myself. And when I do lose, I know it's just part of the process. That's the most important thing. Trading profitably is a process, it's not a switch. You don't become profitable, you have to stay profitable every day. And I'll show you my data now to prove that my model actually makes sense. You have to backtest on FX Replay, it's free. You have no excuse not to. I have 50 hours on there in the last 3 months. You have to forward test 3 months of demo, maybe 2 months of demo, or until you're comfortable with trading your model. And you have to record everything. If you don't, you're just going to forget it and it means nothing and you have nothing to look back on at, for example, the end of the year, apart from your P&L. Also, once you really do trust the model, you will never overtrade. It's not because it will stop you. It's just you will not want to trade anything that is not your model. The entries some people take are horrible. And sometimes they work, and I know it's just my opinion, but the reason I believe so strongly in this is from what I've seen. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't have proof. When I first built my ICT model from the concepts that I learned, so the first being time-based liquidity, and the second being my entry model of fair value gaps and inverses, then I knew what to do. But it took me another 6 months to actually follow that model. And the reason was because I didn't backtest and I didn't build the data and trust in the model. So I didn't trust it. So I just traded anything. But once I backtested for 3 months, forward tested for another 3 months, then I actually saw the process that was taking place. But it took me to a point where I had to either decide whether I was going to quit trading or actually follow my rules. And you don't have to get to that point. You don't have to lose that money in the first place if you actually just do this. And during that 6 months where I didn't follow my model, I was losing money. And I got to a point where I was so disgusted with myself. I said, either I leave trade, I quit trading now, or I follow my rules that I know are profitable. And since I did that, 2 weeks later, passed my first funded, got my first payout for 1.2k British pounds. Since then, you really realize that this is a process and profitability is consistent. It has to be every day. You don't turn profitable. You can be profitable, but you won't turn profitable one day. And the only reason I did is because I trusted my model that I had a year's worth of reliable data, repeatable data, and time-based data. And if you're a beginner listening to this and you have no idea where to start with trading, you are in a better place than most people who have been trading already. Most people already have bad habits. They overtrade, they're emotional, inconsistent, they're down overall money wise. As a beginner, you're a clean slate. You've lost nothing. And if you learn good things, you build good habits from the start, like I said, you don't have to get to that point, like the Canon event of where you get to a point where you lose so much money and you're disgusted with yourself and you say, I have to quit or follow my rules. You don't have to get there. It's totally avoidable. But I know for a fact everyone who is listening has or will be going through that experience. And it's easy for me to say that it's avoidable now because I know it is. But every beginner, you will get to that point. And when you do, you have to change or you have to quit. I'm going to be dropping a lot more videos in the next couple of weeks and months. And it's going to be basically like a free mentorship. Thousands, people would charge thousands for this. And I know they do already. So, but I do it all for free. Like I said, everything's for free. I live stream for free in my Discord every day. So if you want the link, it's in the description.